You are 43. You have $327,400. Your brother makes the same salary. He has $14,000. The difference is not your job. The difference is not your luck. The difference is one decision you made 17 years ago and the 17 years of being quietly mocked for it. This is your life driving the same car for 17 years. You are 26. Saturday, March, a used car lot. The salesman wears a polo one size too small. He calls you boss, shakes your hand too long. He walks you past the SUVs, past the leather seats, past the trucks. He stops at a 2008 Toyota Camry, metallic gray, cloth seats, 22,000 miles. A small ding on the rear bumper he calls character. You sit inside, plain wheel, firm seat. Nothing inside this car will impress anyone you know. You pay $14,200 cash. You drive home with the windows down. The AC makes a sound. You will learn to ignore it for the next 17 years. That night, you sit at your kitchen table. You do the math on a piece of paper. $400 a month, routed into ownership of real businesses for 17 years. The number is large enough that you read it twice. You fold the paper, you put it in a drawer, you forget about it. A month later, lunch with Maris. Maris Valinga is your father's oldest friend. 50 years old, 27 years in commercial real estate. He does not give advice unless asked. You tell Maris about the Camry. You tell Maris you got a deal. Maris does not say, good job. Maris chews. Maris swallows. Maris asks one question. Maris says, do you know what a car actually is? You say, transportation. Maris shakes his head. Maris says, most people don't buy cars. They rent identities. The Camry is the first identity you didn't rent. The question is whether you keep not renting one for the next 20 years. You laugh. You tell Maris you'll drive the Camry until it dies. Maris finishes his sandwich. Maris says, most people say that. Most people mean it for about 38 months. You are 28. The Camry has 56,000 miles. The driver's side window takes 2 pushes to roll up. You know the trick. Tuesday morning, a coffee shop. You order a black coffee for $2. The barista is 19. Her iPhone costs more than your car insurance. She does not look at you twice. You sit by the window. The lot fills. 3 Teslas in a row, 2 BMWs, a G-Wagon. You look at the Camry parked at the end of the row. It looks like a joke nobody laughed at. That afternoon, your brother Cade calls. Cade is 25, 8 months at his second job. Cade says, I bought a car. You ask what kind. Cade says, a 2012 BMW, lease, $620 a month, basically free. You drive to Cade's apartment that weekend. The BMW sits in the lot like a polished argument. Cade walks you around it. Cade tells you about the heated seats. Cade tells you about the lane assist. Cade tells you he is paying $620 a month for the next 39 months. You do not tell Cade that $620 a month, routed for 39 months into ownership of real businesses, would buy him slices of 48 different companies before the lease ended. You drive home in the Camry. The AC makes it sound. You do not sell. You are 32. The Camry has 94,000 miles. The driver's side door takes 2 pulls to close. You know the trick. A Monday morning, the office parking lot. A woman from accounting walks past your car. Her name is Greta Holvenstad. She is 46. She drives a Lexus. Greta stops. Greta says, honey, are you okay? You say you're fine. Greta says, if you need anything, a loan, anything, just ask. We've all had hard years. You smile. You say, thank you. Greta walks away. You are not having a hard year. You have $74,200 in the account, but you cannot say that. Wednesday, the cafeteria. 2 coworkers at the next table do not see you sit down behind them. The first one says, did you see his car? The second one says, yeah, I think he's going through something. The first one says, he's been driving that thing forever. The second one says, I keep meaning to ask if he wants help. You eat your lunch. You do not turn around. You drive home that night in the Camry. The AC makes it sound. The account that night refreshes to $74,400. You do not look at it. You realize, sitting at a red light on the way home, that pity feels worse than mockery. Mockery is loud and you can ignore it. Pity is quiet and it stays in the room after the person leaves. You are 36. The Camry has 138,000 miles. A new sound has started under the hood. You ignore it. You have been dating Anya for 9 months. Anya is a nurse. Anya drives a 2019 Honda Fit. Anya has never said a word about your car. A Saturday in June, a friend's wedding, an outdoor venue, white flowers, a string quartet. You drive Anya in the Camry. She holds her dress in her lap so it doesn't catch on the seatbelt. You park in the back row. You walk to the venue holding her hand. The parking lot is full of Range Rovers, Teslas, a Porsche, a G-Wagon parked at an angle. Anya looks at the lot. Anya looks at you. Anya says nothing. You stand at the bar. A friend of the groom asks what you do. You tell him. He asks what you drive. You hesitate. Anya answers for you. Anya says, he drives a 2008 Camry. He's had it since college. The friend laughs. Anya does not laugh. Anya squeezes your hand. That night, in the Camry on the way home, you tell Anya about the account. The account, by then, holds $187,400. Anya is quiet for a long time. Anya looks out the window. The AC makes it sound. Anya says, "How did you not tell me?" You say, "I did not want to be the guy at parties who talks about his portfolio. The Camry is the cover." Anya laughs softly. Anya says, "Keep the cover." You are 41. The Camry has 207,000 miles. The check engine light came on 3 weeks ago. You drove it to a mechanic. He said it was a sensor. He fixed it for $90. A Tuesday in February, 6 in the morning, 18 degrees outside. You walk to the Camry in the dark. You turn the key. Nothing. You turn it again. A click. Silence. The battery is dead. You sit in the cold for 30 seconds. You do not panic. You have done this before. You call roadside assistance. The driver arrives in 20 minutes. His name tag says Marcus. Marcus is 25. He has a beard and a coffee in his cup holder. Marcus opens the hood. Marcus connects the jumper cables. Marcus looks at the Camry. Marcus looks at you. Marcus says, "How long have you had this?" You say, "Since 2008. Marcus whistles. Marcus says, 17 years on the same car. You know how rare that is? You say, "I do now." Marcus tightens the connection. The Camry starts. Marcus leans against the hood. Marcus says, "My dad drove the same Tacoma for 19 years. He retired 3 years early. I asked him how he did it. He said, I bought one truck, I worked one job, I owned the difference. I didn't get what he meant until I started this job. I see a lot of new cars. The drivers always look more tired than the people in the old ones." Marcus hands you his clipboard. You sign. You drive to work. The AC makes it sound. The Camry pulls into the parking lot. You realize, sitting at your desk that morning, that the math no longer needs the Camry. The discipline does, but the math does not. The Camry has done what it was supposed to do. You are 43. The Camry has 219,000 miles. It is a Friday in March. You are sitting at a stoplight when you hear it. A grinding under the hood, then a hiss, then silence. You coast into a parking lot. You call the mechanic. The mechanic looks at it for an hour. He comes out wiping his hands. He says, "Head gasket, $4,200 to fix. Honestly, I wouldn't." You sit on a bench outside the shop. The sun is warm. You are not sad. You take out your phone. You open the account. The number is $327,400 in slices of 217 real businesses you screened 17 years ago and have been quietly accumulating ever since. You look at the number for a long time. That afternoon, Maris calls. Maris is 67 now. Maris is retired. Maris says, "Heard the Camry finally died." You ask how he knew. Maris says, "Your father told me. He's been waiting 17 years to tell someone. He's proud of you. He didn't want to say it while the Camry was still running. He didn't want to jinx it." You laugh. Maris says, "Did the Camry teach you what it was supposed to?" You say yes. Maris says, "Then it's time to let it go." The Camry was never the lesson. The 17 years were the lesson. You sell the Camry the next Saturday for $1,200 to a man named Dwight Carrington. He is buying it for his daughter who just turned 16. Dwight asks if you took care of it. You tell him yes. You hand him the keys. You walk back to Anya's car in the driveway. You stand there for a long time. The Camry was never about the Camry. The Camry was the visible part, the part Cade could mock, the part Greta could pity, the part the wedding guest could laugh at. The invisible part was what was happening on the other end of the math. Every month for 17 years, the difference between your car and theirs was going into ownership of real businesses instead of into someone else's car payment. The Camry was the discipline made physical. The Camry was the choice not to rent an identity. The Camry was the visible no that protected the invisible yes. Your brother is still leasing. Tomorrow, a different decision begins. But the Camry already did its work.